10 important phrasal verbs with call. Call, called, called. Call off. Meanings: abandon, cancel, withdraw. Sentences: the strike was called off by the workers. The strike was called off by the workers. The meeting has been called off. The meeting has been called off. The attack was called off. The attack was called off. The laborers called off the strike. The laborers called off the strike. Call up. Meanings: remember, bring back to memory, recall. Sentences: the patient could not call up past events. The patient could not call up past events. I cannot call up the name of the poet. I cannot call up the name of the poet. I cannot call up his name. I cannot call up his name. I cannot call up the details of that event. I cannot call up the details of that event. Call for. Meanings: demand, require. Sentences: I called for his explanation. I called for his explanation. His action calls for an explanation. His action calls for an explanation. I could not call for an explanation of that simple matter. I could not call for an explanation of that simple matter. The nation calls for every citizen to do his duty. The nation calls for every citizen to do his duty. The present crisis calls for determined efforts to solve it. The present crisis calls for determined efforts to solve it. Call on. Meaning: meet. Sentences: I shall call on you tomorrow. I shall call on you tomorrow. I shall call on you at your house. I shall call on you at your house. I called on him last Friday. I called on him last Friday. My friend called on me last weekend. My friend called on me last weekend. Call at. Meanings: visit one's house. Make a short visit. Sentences: yesterday I called at your house. Yesterday I called at your house. I shall call at your office tomorrow. I shall call at your office tomorrow. He called at my office yesterday. He called at my office yesterday. I shall call at your house soon. I shall call at your house soon. I called at the library. I called at the library. I called at his house in the afternoon. I called at his house in the afternoon. Call out. Meanings: shout, summon to take action. Sentences: the patient called out for a glass of water. The patient called out for a glass of water. The lady called out for help. The lady called out for help. The troops were called out to restore order. The troops were called out to restore order. Captain Chowdhury called out the soldiers. Captain Chowdhury called out the soldiers. Call in. Meaning: send for. Sentence: please call in a doctor. Please call in a doctor. Call over. Meanings: read out. Call the names according to a list. Sentences: the teacher called over the names of his pupils in the class. The teacher called over the names of his pupils in the class. The teacher is calling over the roll numbers. The teacher is calling over the roll numbers. Call forth. Meanings: evoke, elicit, achieve. Sentences: corruption calls forth a fall. Corruption calls forth a fall. His heroism called forth the admiration of all. His heroism called forth the admiration of all. Call by. Meaning: pay a short visit. Pay a short visit. Sentences: Mr. Roy will call by me tomorrow. Mr. Roy will call by me tomorrow.